I'd like to call the September 25th meeting of the Public Works Committee to order. And the first order of business would be the approval of the minutes. Have folks reviewed the minutes? Are there any changes, additions, or deletions suggested? Make a motion with Mr. Miller, seconded by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the minutes are approved. Commissioner Latina.
Yes, how are you, sir?
Welcome this evening. Agenda item number 1, authorizing agreements with the New York State Unified Court System regarding custodial and building maintenance services for the Albany County Courthouse, Judicial Center, and Family Court.
Yes, sir. The New York State courts have sent us a new 5-year contract. We're looking for the approval to accept this contract for the amount of $3,657,410 over the next 5 years under the recapitalization program, the 686 program. It's a charge back to the OCA, the court system.
Are there any new terms in the contract?
The contract is set by the Unified Court System. It's pretty much basically the same contract. They set the percentages that they're going to pay, like for certain maintenance things. It's really based on the areas that they use in each one of the court facilities. I believe that the courts, like family court, would be like 79%. Payback on the area they use. The other courthouses are 63%, 67, 53 and 67% that is paid back to us for the use of the courthouses under contracts for cleaning and maintenance.
And this has an escalator clause for the...
Yes, it does. It has a certain increase per year, about 5% per year, to cover some of our the rate hikes as far as we get when we go out for bidding on the maintenance contracts and or the cleaning contracts. We try to have like 3 to 5 year contracts with the cleaning. We usually do a 3 with an extender of 2, so we know where we're fixed as far as these contracts go. Same thing with our maintenance contracts. We usually do a 3-year contract with those. We know what the fixed costs are going to be for those.
All right.
Just one question. We already talked about the building maintenance.
Correct.
Keep going. But the one question, the percentages you just mentioned for reimbursement, I wasn't totally clear. Though that amount of the expense is reimbursed to us from the state, but the other is not?
That's county covered. That's county covered because we share portions of the building. So let's say the courthouse, the sheriff's department is there. So they would take 21% of the it's all done on the square footage of the building. What OCA uses, what's common areas, and that's how it's figured out.
Okay, so some of the costs, the county taxpayer pays, other costs are paid by?
Correct. Correct.
What's the name of the company that's doing the cleaning?
Second Chance. They're a New York State preferred contractor that we went with this time.
MWBE or?
I tell you the truth, I can't really tell you whether it is or not. It's like I said, it's a New York State preferred contractor.
I think it is, Joe.
Oh, it is?
I think it is.
That's the next item, right?
Well, the next item that's on here, this is the 5-year contract. This is
a 5-year contract with the state.
With the state.
Okay.
This is the recap, was the first year of the 5-year contract stating the $661,000 in the first year. So we're in a little position right now where we got both of them at the same time. We need to do the 5-year first in order to accept the new 1-year contract, and then I come back every year with the new contract for the next 5 years.
Okay, well, does anybody have any questions on the 5-year agreement with the state?
No, I don't have any agreement. No.
Number 1? If not, we have a motion. Mr. O'Brien? Mr. Reinhardt? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, the ayes have it. All right, number 2, and this is, I think, the contract you were talking about.
Correct, this is the first year of the 5-year contract.
Authorizing agreements with the New York State Unified Court System regarding custodial and building maintenance services for the Albany County Courthouse, Judicial Center, and Family Court.
So this is the the Appendix B that they send out at the beginning of the year with their amount that's in the contract. When we do, at the end of the year, when we submit for payment, we submit all the payments. It's called a recapitalization sheet that we send to them. They check it over. If there's any OCA requests also, if they want new carpeting in the building and it wasn't included in the original the capitalization portion of it, we add it in there and they pay 100% of that OCA request into the contract. But this is a not to exceed contract.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Back to the first one, the $3,657,000.
Right.
Does that include the escalators?
Yes,
So that's got it built in?
yes.
Is it linear? Is it generally split over 5 years?
It's always a 5-year contract.
But it's equal payments over the course of the 5 years?
Correct, with the escalator.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the first year, next year to be this plus 5%. You add them all up and you come back to the
Correct.
$3,657,000. Okay, any questions on the first year contract?
No.
Accept the motion by Mr. O'Brien, seconded by Mr. Miller. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, number 3. Okay. Is there a new title for this,
It
or?
would be a town, authorizing the easement of the town of Colorado.
Okay.
This is there's a handout. Just take one.
There's
Just one, or?
Yeah, just one.
Just
I'll
page?
give you a little-
Oh, okay, I see.
a little background on this one.
One more. Oh, here was one.
This one, when it was originally submitted, indicated that it was going to be a right-of-way to British American regarding an emergency access road to Waterville Shaker Road. I asked a number of questions at DPW, and they indicated that that was inaccurate and that there would be what was really being proposed was an easement to the town of Colony. We had some discussions about issues related to that easement, which have to do with protecting the county from any liability, making clear that the county had the ability to sign off on any road construction and any maintenance or operation of an easement. The DPW told us that I asked them whether or not by giving this easement we were giving up a land resource that was important to Albany County for its existing land bank out there. And the DPW said that was not the case. And the DPW told us that really this was driven by life, health, and safety issues at the existing Hilton Garden Hotel, the new hotel which was being built and has been approved, and Shaker Country Club. We organized a site visit yesterday. Legislator Tunney, whose district it was, Joe O'Brien, because Joe and I had talked about this numerous times, and myself met with Bill Anslow, county engineer out there. And I will speak for myself as one, and people can pipe in. I am concerned about the impact that this road may have on Phase 2 development at British American. because the history of this, which we can go into. But, so anyway, we asked them to get some documents from the town of Colony, a letter from the town requesting it, a letter from their fire services department requesting it, a letter from local fire departments requesting it, and then we talked about putting some things in a resolution which would make everybody comfortable with the easement. So I give that as a, is that fair communication?
Yeah, one of my concerns was maintenance of the road. Who's going to plow it during the winter months? Remember, that was one of my concerns.
British American, we were going to have an agreement with British American to maintain the access road and the gates, winter maintenance, making sure that the road is kept up to snuff. The road will be gated continually, and there will be access only by emergency vehicles.
That's ambulance and fire trucks.
Ambulance, fire, and police, yes, sir. And the reason this is requested is because the entrance that exists now is in the fly zone, and if a plane ever did overshoot the runway, God forbid, happen to crash at the intersection, there's no alternate way into the site for the Shaker Country Club and the Hilton Garden Inn as it exists now, plus the new proposed hotel and any other buildings that they build subsequently.
Did we ever get that letter from the fire department?
I'm not aware that we've gotten any.
I requested both the letter from the town of Colony and from the fire services. Before I left the office, I had not received anything yet, but I did put the request in.
There was another set of issues, and I think we ought to put it right on the table, and that is the history of this development site. This has been before the Albany County Planning Board and the Colony Planning Board before. Originally, British American proposed a 4-story hotel, and the Albany County Planning Board turned it down as saying it was too large, and that it couldn't be built because of changes to the fire code without an emergency access road. So what British American did was they reduced the size of the hotel that they're building now to 3 stories, and they expanded the footprint to make up for whatever their square footage space was. And they got approval, they got approval for that with the town of Colony, and that's phase 1 of this land, okay? There is some question that if we were to put in this road now, British American, it will give them a much larger potential for development on phase 2, because they then will have something which will allow them to build higher. And since we don't know what they are proposing on phase 2, or at least with any specificity, I know Bill has had some broad discussions with their consultant, but we don't really understand, or none of us have sat down and looked at maps or site plans or know what that's going to be. I personally am concerned that we need to have a better handle on that before we give up a county resource that allows someone to develop to a greater extent. Patty?
You might not know this, I don't. Is there a requirement on how high you can go around the airport, isn't there? A height requirement?
Yes.
Do we
there
know
is a
what that is, how
requirement.
many floors that is?
The building the hotel that's there now is at the maximum height allowed,
How-
6 stories.
6 stories, okay. Okay.
We did know that, but...
I didn't, I
Yeah,
didn't know.
The key, though, is the 2015 changes to the fire code, which say you can't go above 3 unless you have a secondary access.
Okay.
So, I mean, as I sit here, I don't know if they could put a secondary access anyplace else. I would like everybody on this committee, especially the people who have taken an interest in Shaker Road, its development, traffic, been part of the traffic study, to at least be able to have some sort of a detailed meeting with the town to get a sense as to what's on the table. That's my own feeling.
And I have a concern about the road. Is it, for fire trucks accessing it, is it wide enough? Turning radius? All that needs to be addressed, as well as a letter from the fire services.
Yeah, the road is proposed at 26 feet wide, which should be plenty wide for fire trucks, and we would obviously want the town to approve the road, fire services to approve the road
Yeah.
before it's, constructed, for sure.
Frank?
Is there any, is this easement in perpetuity?
We haven't really decided. I would imagine it would have to be.
Why would it have to be?
Well, it's a second access. You want to put it in and then at some point say, we're going to take out a second access?
Depends, depends.
Well, we could craft it.
Value of land doesn't go down, it goes up. Are we getting anything for this easement?
Just the safety of the.
Well, that was my concern, Frank, to be honest
I
with
think
you.
it makes it a more valuable piece by having this, because without it, possibly the owners of it can't develop. So their hands would be somewhat tied, so it's got a fair market value in the real estate
Okay.
that they're taking.
Right, and I understand what you're saying, and that's a good point. My understanding is that by reducing the height of the hotel, this access is not a necessary component to allowing them to build a hotel as currently designed. So
That's
they're
currently
gonna,
designed, that's the key word.
well, that's what's been
Today.
approved. What's been approved is,
6 years from now, 5 years from now, a year from now, once they get this easement,
Let them go. Yeah, I agree with Frank.
I'm sure
And
we'd
then
have to
there's
craft,
phase
maybe we'd have
two.
to craft
Yeah,
it.
we don't
We
know.
don't, we
We
have
don't
no
know what
idea
that
what's
is.
going into phase.
We don't know
two.
what that
They
is.
could-
The
They
other
could be
thing, do we
building a
know
whole
what's
bunch of
under-
6-story buildings.
do we know what's under this land? Where the easement is?
As
Oil.
far as,
No.
No.
There may be a gas line under there that's very valuable to the development of this whole thing. And you may laugh at that, but I've seen it happen, where they didn't have an easement in perpetuity. So that became so valuable to that development that it was just, Niagara Mohawk paid a price that they would have never paid if they had it in perpetuity.
okay,
So you don't know what may be under there.
Mr. Miller?
all good points.
Are we getting a letter from Bordeaux also, or just Shaker Road?
Well, in our discussions yesterday, quite candidly, you see, this is where it comes as a little bit of a curve. Because I was very supportive of an easement to protect life, health, and safety at the two hotels and Shaker Country Club. And if that's what that's what everybody said they wanted to do, okay? And then I had even suggested that, in a resolution here, that maybe we say that road cannot be used as a resource to increase development potential for Phase 2. Because if it's truly life, health, and safety, why, we don't know what Phase 2 is. If somebody proposed something in Phase 2 and it met with the approval of the planning board, the Albany County Planning Board, and the community in the town of Colony, you could always come back and say that it could be, you could always take the second step. So that's where I thought we were yesterday. But I'm hearing a lot of different things here today. But,
That's not my concern. I'm concerned with the angle coming from Bordeaux.
Yeah.
They'll be coming down this way to make that turn. I mean, for Shaker Road, I mean, making, left in there.
well, it was actually pointed out that because of this being in the airport locale, probably anything would be major mutual aid. So it would probably be Verdoy, Shaker, Colony Village.
But they're coming from the other way.
Yeah, it could be
This
Midway
angle
as
here-
well,
This
yeah.
angle here from Bordeaux could be a problem, I would
But
think.
remember, you're using this when the other entrance is blocked,
I
so it's just,
understand,
yeah.
but if they can't get in there, then it could potentially be the first in truck there, particularly if there's an air now.
And if they're fighting
Yeah.
they're fighting a fire at, say, the hotels there, the outriggers, would that,
Could be a problem. if it
could
was
be a
ladder
problem,
truck,
so it might
you
be
know.
even needed
They
wider.
probably wouldn't be putting the outriggers up for an airline crash. They're going to be putting the outriggers up by the hotel where it would be, probably room, I would guess. But so that angle there, particularly as I said, if the access on Shaker Road was cut off, Verdoy's gonna be the first in there, if they can't make that cut. But, you know, I would think you should get something from Verdoy to make sure they're
Good point,
comfortable with the
good
cut
point,
also on.
good point.
You know.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Can we just table this for 1 month and get all the additional okay,
That's your pleasure, absolutely.
okay.
All right. Got
Make
a
a
motion
motion.
to table?
Yeah, second.
Second by Mr. Miller, Ms. Lockhart. All in favor of tabling, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we will call a meeting. Bill, if you could be
Absolutely.
the quarterback on that.
Sure.
Get the town together, get the fire services together, get the people who have spoke today in this room.
The entire committee you would include in
I
that
would
meeting?
give them
Okay.
an opportunity to
Okay.
participate at the meeting.
Okay.
We would invite the entire committee and the two councils, because I think this is a little unique. I'm not sure that the county has been asked before to make a county
Okay.
resource
Have we-
available for private development.
Frank, can you remember if we did this before? Given
Oh, we probably have, but, you know, this is,
this is special land out there.
it's valuable land, and we just made it more valuable by giving them excess.
Well,
Well, we haven't given them
We haven't given them that.
No,
Well,
if we do.
I mean, if we do. If we do.
It does seem to me it's a community question as to how does the community really feel about what Frank is alluding to. We're giving them a more valuable piece of property, which means they're gonna wanna probably develop it optimally in their view.
Maximize it.
And what does that, how does that go with, what's the community feeling about that?
The first piece was controversial, let's say that.
I don't know the history, but
Yeah, I mean,
it
so
does seem
that's-
like here's an issue where we have to make sure that the people's interests are served along with the health and safety of the immediate situation, which obviously seems to have merit, but let's get those letters to verify that.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go on to something easy. All right. Item number 4, Commissioner Raimondo, welcome. Didn't say hello to you before. Authorizing an agreement with the New York State Department of Transportation in the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation regarding the installation of signage along George Street in the Village of Green Island.
Yes, we are requesting the legislature's approval to enter into an agreement with New York State DOT to allow them to install signage on George Street for the Empire State Trail, which is the bike trail. And upon installation, they would turn ownership over to the county to maintain the signs. There are a total of 6 requested signs to be installed along George Street between Hudson and Tibbetts. We've included copies of the Empire State Trail Work Maintenance and Ownership Agreement for your perusal. Any questions?
Members of the committee, any questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion. Moved by Mr. Reinhardt, seconded by Mr. O'Brien. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Item is carried. Number 5, authorizing an agreement with MJ Engineering and Land Surveying regarding design and construction inspection services for the Albany County Rail Trail over New Scotland Road, Route 85, Bridge Replacement Project.
Yes, we're requesting the legislature's approval of an agreement with MJ Engineering and Land Surveying for the design and construction inspection services for the Helderberg Hudson Rail Trail over the New Scotland Road Bridge Replacement Project. The county purchasing agent received 9 bids for the project. Our engineering staff reviewed the bids and recommended the award be to MJ Engineering and Land Surveying based on the best understanding of scope of the project and in an amount not to exceed $95,500. Any questions?
Yeah. Is this to raise the height of that railroad bridge?
The purpose isn't to raise it, but it will be raised as a result of the project, because what's there now is a really deep structure that is strong enough to carry railroad bridges, and the new bridge is going to be a pedestrian bridge, so it does not need to be as beefy.
So I won't see the periodic immediate stoppage of trucks as they try to get under a 12-foot span and they realize too late that they can't make it.
Unless they're carrying a windmill blade or something, I don't know. Hopefully not, no.
Commissioner, we had a discussion, your tally sheet didn't give the range of prices, it
Yes.
gave the low scores. Could you just tell folks where M&J Engineering fit into the matrix in terms of pricing, which was only 17% of the criteria on the scoring basis?
Sure. The three lowest bidders were, the lowest was Mazer. They were at $85,000. The second was MJ. They were at $95,500. And the third was GPI at $98,000. So the low bidder, Mazer, although they were the lowest bid, when we read through their understanding of the scope, they left out some of the critical pieces of what we were requiring. So although their price was the lowest, they did not score the lowest.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the committee?
No.
I would entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Stevens, seconded by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
You like it? I'm used to it now.
Mr. Slatsky, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Marvelous. Item number 6, authorizing an easement with Niagara Mohawk Power Corporation and Verizon Wireless regarding relocation of transformers at the Albany County Nursing Home.
Yes, this will allow Niagara Mohawk Power to relocate our transformer and replacing the server. This is just an easement, and there's no cost between the parties. The actual work has been previously approved and funded and will be reimbursed through the certificate of need process.
Okay. Just a question that just popped into my mind. Will there be other work that will have to happen by NIMO at the site if the sheriff ultimately ends up going into the Shaker building?
I'm really not sure of what his exact needs are going to be, so I can't answer that. I know that he will need his own generator, and we have discussed that. Other than that, I have no knowledge of the specifics that he's talking about.
Okay. Is any of this work in the area immediately near where the sheriff might potentially go?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions from the committee? I would entertain a motion. Mr. Milner, seconded by Mr. O'Brien. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
Please note Mr. Stevens' abstention. Okay, number 7, authorizing an agreement with Fire Security and Sound Systems regarding installation of communication systems at the Albany County Nursing Home.
This will be the nursing home's paging system. It will replace the existing paging system in the nursing home as it stands today, and will be incorporated into the new construction of the 6 additional units that will be connected to the existing section. The cost is $110,754. When the submission was made to the legislature, there was a revision where we added a contingency of $10,000. The original was submitted for $110,754, and we felt the contingency was necessary just in case it turns out we need 3 more speakers or another amplifier, and we didn't want to have to come back to the ledge. This is a state contract, so any product being purchased or equipment being purchased at a later date from this $10,000 would have to meet the state requirements for that purchase and approved by our purchasing department.
So in essence, what is this the...
Yes, this is, the updated information has just been distributed to you as a handout.
Okay, so it's, are we looking for $120,764?
No, it's $110,754.
Oh, that includes the 10,
The actual proposal was for $100,000, yes.
Okay. questions from anybody?
Just an observation, that wasn't clear. I looked at this, I had the same thought you did. It's gonna be 120. But 110 better than 120.
As long as you got the spares. All those in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion,
Does
please.
this have to go to audit and finance as well, or is this just us?
I don't think this has been referred to audit and finance.
I don't believe it has been.
Motion by Mr. Miller, seconded by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Item is carried.
Thank you.
Larry, number 8, authorizing an agreement with Stanley Convergent Security Solutions regarding security system installation and maintenance at the Albany County Nursing Home.
Stanley is our current provider in our existing facility. This will be to upgrade and/or replace our door security system, both in the existing and new facility. That will include cameras and our WonderGuard system to protect our residents who wander from leaving the nursing home. Part of this will be a total replacement and upgrade to the nursing home. The overall cost is $746,164. This will include maintenance agreement with Stanley, who currently maintains the equipment on the property. It should be noted that all this new equipment will come with a warranty, and the maintenance agreement will commence after the completion of the entire project, after the warranty has been exhausted, and then the maintenance agreement will commence.
Very good. All righty, any questions?
How long is the maintenance agreement?
3 years.
3 years, okay.
And what's, is it a 1-year warranty, 2-year warranty?
1-year warranty, 3-year maintenance agreement.
So it's a total of 4 years.
Yes.
All right, any other questions from the committee? If not, I would accept the motion. Moved by Mr. Smith, seconded by Mr. Reinhardt. Everyone in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Next to last item, the last for Mr. Slatsky. Number 9, authorizing an agreement with Johnson Controls Fire Protection regarding fire alarm systems installation and maintenance at the Albany County Nursing Home.
Right, this will be an upgrade to our existing system. I want to point out that the current system is monitored and has been for many, many years by Simplex. Simplex has been purchased by Johnson Controls, so they are now the owner of our current system and maintain it. This will be for the new construction and wiring in the existing building to the new facility and all of the additional equipment that will be required for the fire alarm system. This will also come with a 3-year maintenance agreement after the warranty has expired, just like the previous contract discussed.
All right, and what was the amount of that, Larry?
That's $361,000. I want to point out that the original submission was over $400,000 from Stanley, but when Mr. Lucarelli and myself were looking over the documents, we saw that the maintenance agreement was over double what we're paying now. And they said, well, you have more equipment. And I said, well, not that much more. So we negotiated the price down from $420,000, I believe, to $361,000. So, and we sent in those revised proposals to the office of the majority.
Those were also just distributed to you all as a handout.
The new number is $361,000 inclusive.
And there's a maintenance contract with this as well?
Yes, it does, 3 years, and it'll work the same way as the previous
Okay.
contract discussed.
Okay.
Any other questions?
This is a question really just, I think, for my education. I'm not really questioning what you've done here at all. But both for this one and the previous, you've got a 3-year maintenance contract. I'm guessing this equipment has a longer life than that, in both cases. Do you have to renegotiate an extended maintenance agreement later, are we opening ourselves up to any kind of a, they'll get their money back, right, in the next maintenance agreement? Is there any value in trying to negotiate a longer maintenance agreement now as opposed to later?
Well, we did that, actually. That's how we have the 3 years. We have a 3-year maintenance agreement, a 1-year warranty, and in all honesty, I shouldn't say it that way, the construction project will not conclude for another 1.5 to 2 years. So the warranty is not going to start till then. That was our agreement. So they wanted to say, well, we have a maintenance agreement for the items, the equipment that we have now in the new building. So the way we worked it out is that all of the items will be covered under the warranty after the completion of the construction, plus a year, plus 3 years. And we negotiated the warranty and the maintenance agreement up front now. That cannot change. It's a contractual relationship, and it cannot increase the price now for over 4 years.
But it could in year 5 then?
After year 5, it is possible that when you need a new contract for a new maintenance agreement, and it's 5 years from now, they may say that there's an increase in price. That is true, just like with any of our agreements.
2 questions, Larry. One is a follow-up. What is the useful life of these instruments? I mean, is it like a cell phone at the end of 5 years, you're sort of looking for the next version, or the ones you have there, are they 10 years old, 15 years old?
Well, the ones we have now are fairly new. If you may not have been at that legislative committee meeting, but a couple of years ago, we upgraded the entire fire alarm system and software, a real upgrade from what it was. The equipment was over 35 years old. So now the way it works, equipment's equipment, pull station, you see them in schools and in places, they last for 100 years. What really changes is the software. And now there's software upgrades versus really equipment upgrades. So the software keeps you current, not the equipment itself.
Okay, so paying for a software license at the end of the period is what's really the operative thing.
Correct. And
Okay.
this maintenance agreement permits that to happen during the contractual life of the equipment.
The last thing I'd just like, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but all of these state contracts are outside of Jerson and their contract, and these are all being done under the capital programs, which are reimbursable.
Correct.
So all of these are part of the project cost, not part of the CON cap, and should be reimbursable by the state.
Correct.
Any other questions?
No.
I actually have one.
Oh,
In the 3-year platinum maintenance coverage that you got, does that include the inspections?
Yes.
Okay. So there's no bill?
We're required to have inspections, and
lot.
this includes the inspections.
Yeah, we're mandated to have 2 inspections a year.
Right, so I just,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know,
all
$1
included.
an hour
Yeah,
could add up.
that's all included.
It's all included in the price, and that's why we did it up front. We're locked in, they're locked in, but we got a very, very good price because they got the job, and they are on the state contract.
okay. Any other questions from the committee? If not, I would accept the motion. Moved by Mr. Reinhardt, seconded by Mr. O'Brien. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, there's one more. Who is going to wear the Bob Belber mask?
Oh, I'll take this one, how about it? Sitting here all night, call me in.
Commissioner, how are you?
How you doing tonight?
We're doing well.
We'd like to table this item if we could. This is for the Wi-Fi upgrades over there. Still pending the approval, or pending the sign-off of the Resolution 423, which is the 2019 to 2023 capital plan.
Okay, so this comes back next month after the capital plan?
Yeah, we're gonna need the
Motion to
bonding
table.
authorization
Second.
for that.
Seconded, made by
Good
Mr.
job.
Miller, seconded by Mr. O'Brien. All those in favor of tabling the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, the item is tabled. Thank you, that was simple.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, seconded over here. All those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.